option if they need it. The idea to fake out early and not much of a reaction from Fnatic. Very stable as they push up in B main, gaining control, and Alphair was tucked in that corner the entire time, getting a reward for his patience here. You see the Yoru, you think maybe it could be a fake, it could be looking to gate crash back, but now they've got the steps as well, confirming that this attacking side is moving up into heaven. Alphair greets them there as well. A double opener, but Safe puts him to bed. There's still a chance on this A side hold, but with the fast rotations coming behind them being boxed in with that middle push-up that's come through from Chronicle, and players rotating into the site, it's still quite an uphill battle.
It's looking rough at this stage for the side of Vitality. Boaster just playing passive, a wraparound already coming in from behind, and Safe is going to have to hit the shot immediately and won't be given the chance. Kicks stuck in the mud. The grab throw will bring it back, still manages to get one, but that will be all she wrote. First round will go the way of Fnatic, and that's the thing. We come into this matchup.
One, but Vitality already gave that info away, and the gate crash into site gets Durka all of this space. The plant will be difficult to stop without a big risk with a peek out of heaven. And so, yeah, a post plant. Not bad start for Vitality already.
The issue is, other than the extra credits, now it comes down to how much they can garner. Nice usage, actually, of that Aftershock is going to help them out quite significantly. 2 picks already. Kicks now stuck in the backlines. Sheriff in hand. 3 players to find. It would be an absurd way to start out this matchup. Nice shot on the first, but can't quite correct. Very close, actually, to taking down Boaster. It's damage, it's not bad, but Fnatic still convert.
Yeah, I think Vitality get the best of both.
Well, Alphair a little bit early on, and he said he's definitely ready to play, ready to go, and I think he's going to want to beat his old teammate. For now, though, it's his teammate of Kayak.
The Outlaw giving them opportunities as well. You know, even if Crashies just peppers them up. We've already seen through that cage, but Chronicle going down in mid, it's going to cause problems. You're losing your Viper wall and some A control as a result. At least
he's been fragging. They will be the point of contention.
30 seconds left.
Haven't cleared him, and eyes are focused on Kayak. Doors open for Boaster. He welcomes himself in. That's a double.
4 versus Na'Vi for Fnatic. The question I have, though, is that are some of the heroes for either side still going to have the same level? Crashies had an insane game last week to help them get the victory over Na'Vi. And wow, Sivu maybe coming out with the debut of the season? Or definitely debut of the season, maybe debut of ever in EMEA.
yeah, well, I mean, coming into this week, well, coming into today, he's the leader in terms of ACS. He was second last week after all the games were played. Second to Zeus, who...
yeah,
he was all right in the first week, so that's not bad. Again, low investment from Vitality, so not too excited to see these battles going on, as they should go the way that they have. A bit of a dent, had they have been used, as you've seen, just a default. Vitality spreading across the map, waiting for aggression, and they've spotted that a couple times that aggro's come in once they take space elsewhere. A smoke goes up.
Alphair is watching for Durka. Timing almost works out for him. But either way, it has forced them back. An important entry, though. Chronicle down, leaves a bit of an opening, but the B main aggression is still there. Kayak is waiting, not going to fall for it, and then gets the easy shot. Now has his dimensional drift, and Alphair for support, who's going to swing back in. Safe connects one while still on the ropes, but they know exactly where he is. An easy pick-off for Boaster, and now left onto less. 20 seconds, and Kayak just is not missing a beat. What?
Just before, in fact. Durka's going to tank a little bit of it for the element of surprise. Hasn't been able to catch anyone off guard, but this is a great round to take those risks in when you've got those weaker weapons. Armageddon calls it goes. Alpha can't get out. He has to fight them here and now, and at least manages to keep things even. The ult trade out. Well, if it was just for the kill, it wouldn't be worth it, but now they've got heaven control and a real chance in this round.
I got the
dimensional drift also available. That's just been picked up by Durka. Means he can get them the information if he needs. Instead, he's just going to go fighting. Just beating his old IGL with only a ghost in hand. This leaves Kayak 9 and 2. Operator, not really the gun you'd want in these sort of moments. He'd have to pick less out of the corner, and he checks the right position to deny any chance at a plant. The utilization of that showstopper, but it actually hasn't got the kill. The player at backside with the spike still survives. Safe has just popped off as well. 2 of his own.
I don't know how Kix is still alive. Well, I do. The stairs saved him. Just the corner of them caught the showstopper as it was firing into, well, what would have been certain death for Kicks. Would even make this fight a little easier, as they'd only have to worry about Seavoff on the site. Kicks with another, and now Chronicle has to clutch up. He's already got himself a triple. 2 more, the ace needed, but less again. The dagger in the back.
Put them in a bit more of a awkward spot, and you can see again just Durka trying to sell these fakes. The fight is going to be taken, and well, it's actually gone all right. I thought that Kayak wouldn't get anything from that, but
for the push onto the site, or so they think. Push is coming in through heaven. A lot of space taken by Vitality already. Less's lurks have just been so good. And it comes back to Alpha. Same position as before. And they're not going to clear it. That's 2 from... Oh, no! Oh, these are not going to forget. Same salvos we saw before. No, in fact, just a dive.
oh, and in fact, that gives an opportunity. That's the spike down on the deck. Bear that in mind. Not a lot of time left for Vitality to try and work with. And Boaster, more importantly, Kayak is just going. So what happens when you do? Definitely having a strong individual performance. Okay, Doug has just been doped. Crashing off the angle. Have the potential for some isolated duels. Les is looking for that gap once again. Alfia was forced forward by the utility, but they still don't seem aware. Not going to connect the shots, but his teammates have found every...
Now leaving the A site a little bit more open. They still have a cam and a trap, but it's the fact they're not waiting for that aggression. But it's a B main spot and mid where they still had numbers. They catch off Kayak. Looking for a little more as well. There's an opportunity for Seavoff. Boaster filled in the angle, even shot a few shots towards him. With a player in B main and one already down, B seems like an easy target. Chronicle's the only one standing in the way, and he gets caught by the decoy.
Oh, operator retreat. Paranoia pass through! And Seavoff is gone. Boaster predicted where his opponent was coming from, and more importantly, he's been able to hold on to B main.
Said it was only Chronicle standing in the way. Didn't think B main would be able to be held on to so deep into the round. Big push by Vitality.
Yeah, they know.
Don't commit it though. It's half committed. Durka even caught with his knife out. Luckily Kicks filled back into space and covers his retreat. A double pickup. And they know that Boaster is coming from B main. They've certainly heard the steps now confirming the rotate didn't come through. Might be having the best half of his life. 14 and 3 at the moment. You are done and dusted here, Chronicle. Between the salvos and the Armageddon, there was no... In fact, even gets the C's down. That's going to slow them. TP to the backside. Durka stuck it. They know, though. They've seen this before. Catching him. Great reveal that would have forced the hand. Boaster on the double crashies. Can't hold on, though. They're able to recover the site. But getting across with the spike is another challenge. Kayak's back, up in heaven. Almost takes safe out. The shot whizzing past his ear. 15 seconds, last round, no time to save. He's got to swing in, but that means crossing the operator of Kayak. And he's hit the shot anyways. Already 3 under his belt. The nade through, not going to deny. The blast pack won't do it either. Safe's gotten away with it. The salvos! It's a bold play, and not one that will work out in his favor.
I think he's trying to sell the idea that he'd gone somewhere else, try and bait his opponent, but unfortunately Alfio was just that little bit too quick. Really playing very aggressive with his TPs, trying to sell fakes, trying to push into certain spots on the defense. Got to be hopeful he can get a little bit more done and more kicks. Already going to be starting things off with a bang. Kayak is gone. There is a walk up in the meantime coming into B main. It looks, however, like the defense have decided to play this almost as a full retake. 4 players gathered up in towards that spawn area.
Yeah, they're gonna come blitzing through. Late play by Crashies is being spotted. Making it out of here, not quite so easy, tucked in the corner, but the fire from down below, it's lighting up the kill feed. Chronicle with the double, and the site now taken for a plant. They're not sticking it yet, still trying to bait more players into Chronicle's crosshair, and just seconds away from seeing that work. Oh, he's caught him off guard! It's a wonderful play! Leaving it down to Crashies to do it all, and they've spotted him too. What a round from Les already. With 35 seconds left, there's still time for Crashies to... Well, they're not behind him in main. That's what he was clearing there, so great information at least. Knows where both are, but dealing with Les seems to be a problem. 3-piece for him.
Walking away, 10-4 potentially in the lead. Instead, unless a Bucky's going to do some real work, which it might, no. 3 HP though.
They were a pixel closer to him, who knows? Les again! It's the same old story.
See what I mean now?
Yeah. Yeah, that has nothing to do with setup or utility. This is just less.
Oh, he got it!
Popping heads, eventually down goes Set.
One of them even tagged, and it's Chronicle. He has a chance.
Oh, but the shots don't land. Not in his favor this time. Vitality to take this round across the line, but I think it's fair to say they took a few more blows than they meant to.
Particularly bad, it's just that he's got 2-3 Ks in the first 2 rounds. We'll see if that's a continuing trend. It does mean, oh, I was gonna say, there's not the best of purchases, but that's not the
Back of his ultimate, the neural theft. But look at where Boaster is, still sitting outside that B site. We could easily see a wrap back through the vents to try to meet him, and the only man that could stop them would be Safe. So his hold up in heaven, and that's exactly what's happening. Safe's hold is so important here. He's just missed Boaster, stepping through that angle. He might catch him here. Oh, he's being caught instead. And now the door is wide open for off by a little, and that would have really bridged the gap for Vitality. Chronicle hasn't been spotted. Taking a leaf out of Les's book.
Okay.
One pick, that'll spur them forward, but also gets Chronicle to make his play. The dagger in the back, and now they don't know how they can go forward. Constantly worried about that backstab. Les, one to swing out first, does damage to Chronicle. Or Crashies, I should say. Chronicle's still up in heaven and may need to hurry up. Catches one, kicks with 2, but it's not enough. Too many bodies. While Chronicle comes in with a Viper's Pit ready to work with. B-side is the target. If they can get that pit down, there's a lot of trouble for Vitality, but Sivov able to pick off the first. Already TP'd into the back of the site, but he's not got any real opportunities, barely avoiding the breach utility, but taking a big heavy tag down to 45 HP. Good pickup by Durka, and they thought the kayak had left. They thought the utility had cleared him out, but he gave his position away. Boaster on 8 is the last world it would have. Fnatic down on pistols, though. It's a classic buy and full eco for the squad. How things have been going. Should be a Vitality clean up. Though the first is a trade.
They're losing a lot of players to Classics. This is
Going
an
down below.
obscure angle. I don't think I've ever seen a scope that far zoomed in on something. I feel like that's like when someone has to read with like a magnifying glass. Like you're a little bit too close to that one. But it's Durka. Still managed to hit the shot. Spike found. Know where that's going to be, and unfortunately any lurks, any sneaky plays are getting picked apart. Yeah, I know for a fact that Durka for a moment was like, I'll knife him, and then realized, maybe not in this round. Maybe not when I could throw my gun to an opponent and when 2 of my teammates have light shields.
That's the other thing, right? Only Les could have taken a blast from that Outlaw. It's got 2 barrels. Alfier, he's walking into heavy traffic. Les was there, and I don't think he'd expect Sivov to... Fnatic, they've got their full buy. They've got some ultis to work with as well. Still waiting to see Crashies once they get the site, put that Viper's Pit into play. Oh, and it doesn't matter. The Viper's got taken a while to get to backside, actually. They'll be here on time to potentially disrupt that plan, depending on utility. And with 12 seconds, that's not ideal. In comes the Armageddon. 10 seconds on the clock. We're down to the last chance. The plant needs to be stuck. If they can interrupt, it could change the game, but they're not there on time. And the full stick is cancelled! A huge piece of utility. Kicks may have made a mistake with that very same utility.
Scoreline equalized. Weaponry now a bit of an issue. Ultimates either online or getting close, other than the one that was utilized in the last round.
Completely gone, and with it, a lot of the hope for this round to fall into their hands.
And just making these fights so incredibly awkward. Back they go towards the A site. Durka homed in with the sniper, but he gets taken out by Alfia. You mentioned that rifle, it's still in hand again. They need to cross to the side, and they just about spot out Safe in the last second. Alfia's revenge from what was that previous half. And now even has the showstopper. Nobody is going to be facing, but shoots it a little early. That gives Sivov a chance.
Yeah, that's tough. Showstopper, even just to buy that extra time, but as soon as it's fired off, they know they've got an opportunity, capitalizing on it. Rolling Thunder goes through to the backside, heavy pressure put on these players now, mostly stuck here. Boaster's playing post-plant, but you can't run down that much time with the Stars. He needs to pick off a few, and in fact, they're even blocking the Star as the Grabwell comes in, trying to get that little bit of extra space, and although it won't work out, kills go their way.
Hold on. Immediately, Kayak is going to look to try and take that space, but it's a ruse for the other side of the map.
Durka thins the herd, and again, a round where Chronicle wants to put that ult into play. Kayak with a risky maneuver, but they needed to recover something on that push. Unfortunately, it's left them in a really tough spot. 5v2 now, it's safe, taking down Alfier, and Crashy's hold as he might. He's separated from his teammate, he's all alone, and you can't hold all those angles. Not when...
Like, we're used to him, go back a year or two, just first man in, taking battles, but I think his salvos have been so disruptive. A good start, though. That's less down, and a lot of the time, that's a solo anchor. You can see Alfie is going to try make a move off of it. The stun is perfect. The supportive util for Boaster, and then the swing from Kayak.
Yeah, that's where, because of the investment they made here, being a little middle and keeping credits over for the next, they can afford to take risks, especially if it comes at the cost of, or with the benefit of removing the operator, which is exactly...
Be the Armageddon, something they're definitely wary of. I'm a bit nervous now. Getting into the remaining 25 seconds, off the top goes Alfia. Needs this opening onto Les, and that's exactly what he finds. He actually had the spike as well. They sent that through over the top. For him
goes the stun. And the backside push commences 5 seconds until salvos. We can't wait for them. It's time to take ground here and now. Fnatic need this round, and Alpha seems content to lock it in with kicks down. They might almost retreat. The time is too far gone. They've caught Crashy, sure, but it's a consequence. But Chronicle's moving away from that A site. They're not going to be watching it at all as they now look to late commit to mid control and take over a little bit of B main. Previously, it's been battles up against Cvov, if any.
Yeah.
But now the op being there caught them by surprise, and in a round like this, that's exactly what you wanted. Opening pick and Fnatic on the back foot.
Space taken though. Wow. A little bit cheeky from Boaster, looking to try and take the rounds into his own hands. I don't think Dirk is going to be forgetting about that one anytime soon. Kicks to respond. Aftershock to try and delay, but Chronicle's already on the other side of it. Doesn't expect anybody else to be that close. Back to level peg, and again, Safe looking to go through the additional utility, just waiting for someone to try and hit that cross, and now just happy to take that man advantage.
No time to pick. Chronicle stuck in the corner, and Les won't let him out. Kayak grabs one after the plant with a reposition needed. The steps heard, and Cvov on his trail. 12 rounds now for Vitality, a hard-fought battle, but one they found. Looking to retake that space, kicks inside of utilities, pushing forward alongside his teammate Cvov. They don't want to relinquish control, and that could be their biggest mistake. Alpha popping off with players soon to emerge from that smoke.
That was the second one place, but the time on it is ticking. This is so many enemies to try and find, and Alfia just isn't stopping. Expected this series to be a contest, but overtime in map number 1. Might be in for a long, long day. Chronicle is in trouble. He's tried these aggressive positions a lot of times. He's utilized whatever he can. Now it just comes down to, can he hold on to this backside? Can he take somebody with him? Otherwise, this retake's going to be incredibly difficult. But he steps up when needed. A third kill for Crashies. He was left on an island, but somehow he has survived. This puts that timer, that clock on. Les already is the last bad clock. He's now got kicks alongside, and that said, he has bought them extra time.
Seconds. They pick Durka. Still 2 on the site, though. Do they have the read? Kicks finds one, and from the smoke comes Safe. 6 seconds. Plant needs to be found!
Well, I don't think we witnessed him this deep in B main. Maybe we saw others, but I think this is more of a confidence play.
Oh, Chronicle! Finally, the first death will be avoided. He's the one to pick off Durka. Big one to find as well. Vitality, though, they're going to stay strong in their play towards this A site, moving up into heaven. He said Kayak, playing that little deeper, but it's going to be sold as a fake. They won't know that there's a player aggressive because Crashies is in that same old position, playing passive. He's drawing their eye, sends in the C's as well, and Kayak gives his position away, but it's well worth it. Landing himself the pick, and they know there's still one in heaven. Cvov down low, TP, he won't get away. Oh, he will! Barely avoiding those shots in the smoke down to cover his retreat. No, he will not make it to sight, though. The spam through that smoke picks him off and leaves one player less. Good in the clutch, but no time to even plant the spike. This round is done.
The rest of the team go back, but an aggressive position from Durka is one that's going to be difficult to hold on to. Obviously trying to bait him out with the teleport back, but the fake smoke
Spike down B.
works out in Durka's favor. And Crashy's down already.
She's gone, indeed.
Here.
3 players around this position as well. 2 players make that with Seavoff down. 1 up in heaven. Kicks not yet spotted. And that TP into backside from Kayak has gotten them so much space to play with Alfier on the lurk, but he's being caught. Les knows that game. It's
more on the clock. Plant will now be in their favor. Aftershock to try and create a more awkward scenario for Kayak, but he's not really been cleared. Even still, Kix manages to win the battle, and just like that, they fall like dominoes. It is a quick retake from the side of Vitality. We go again.
Look at how much space they've given up over on Fnatic. You have to be worried about the Vents push up now because there is just no information to play with. Chronicle steps out wide, picks one but goes down, back on B. And here he is, but he has to hold off against the whole squad. 12 seconds, Plant needs to be connected very soon. That paranoia, perfect from Seavoff. That's a double pickup from him with the paranoia alongside his buddies. And now a Plant that should be difficult for Fnatic to get back into. That jump was heard, and Durka's more than ready for the angle from Crash. He's a cleanup.
Away. Also, someone normally challenges him, so instead they're going to go walked into a pretty stacked up site. The TP stun is perfect though. That's safe, eliminated immediately, but still they have to try and deal with less. This time he comes up Trump, still sat at the back of the site. A second already dropped, looking for more, but eventually dealt with. And now Durka, the man returning to face his old team, is all that stands. His IGL on the other side, and
at least in terms of having numbers for the fight, but still, Fnatic are able to break through. Another OT. Oh, and Kayak in a risky position, but one that has a wealth of rewards. A 2-piece pickup, and Vitality miles behind in this attack round.
Crash used to do that before, expecting Durka to try and be cheeky on the cross, and that's the second time he's been punished for the exact same play. Obviously about 10 rounds between the last time it happened. Crashy's Les in a 1v1, and Les has taken it home. Still though, a hefty rotation of players. Both are trying to make sure the cross to sight is not going to be an easy one, and they've also lost the battle within Heaven, leaving just 2 standing, and they know exactly where Kix is going to be. Les to try and fight back, needs an ace to take it, and well, with Dimensional Drift just basically being as awkward as possible. Once again, Durka has hit that shot onto Chronicle, an attempted retreat, and he will not get away. Not this time.
Moving into A, going for the flank. It looks like he'll be good. Catching one at least, knowing the push is coming in, communicating that to his teammates. It results in a trade to start with. We're waiting for Kayak to complete this full wrap around, and it's a free kill presented. He will capitalize. Looking up top for safe, a good idea. Ow, it's a messy fight, but when he wins, Durka on the other side though, facing his replacement and taking him.
The pressure once again, he thrived in it when we kicked off OT.
Last big pickup. Kayak's been bailing them out of rounds. When things get dicey, Crashies has done the same with these A-site holds, but no 3K this time. Seavoff is picked off at least, but look how quickly the response is there. Les always causing problems. In your blind side is where he lives, and a double stack up will send Boaster to the Shadow Realm. It's only Alfier looking to bring this back. Vitality of 4 players alive, plenty of time to work with, and an op not great for us.
Drone going up.
Minute 10 on the clock. Fnatic showing much more mid presence than most of the rounds. They failed to take down Kix as well. Still so much util online. He's forced forward though by the snake bite. A chance if they can pick him off, but instead it's Kix finding one up above. Less consistent, and he's on the site with just his dinner to finish. Boaster and Crashies. And it's Crashies to take the kill. Keeping this doable for his side, but a plan has to be stuck surely. Barely any time left, and now no choice. Durka with the swing could end it all here, and that's exactly what he does. The push up that you'll typically see from teams. You know that you should be expecting someone on rubble, but not so ready for Kix. Still, he only finds one before going down.
Get quite a bit further. Maybe they would have expected. No, Durka is waiting and watching. Try and put the pressure onto Seavoff.
He is all alone, and with that door open, his back is now compromised. Wants to fight forward, and good for the first. That's all he's getting this time. Crashies knows there's a fight brewing with Safe, but has to go back to cover the plant. 10 seconds left. And it's time to get that spike on the floor. Durka dropping down's being heard, but there was no chance to stop the defuse, or the plant, I should say. The defuse now certainly coming through. Spoilers ahead. Big flank from Les, and it's good to see he's still got that gameplay up his sleeve, even here on Lotus.
Yeah, it seems to make very little difference what map or what. Only has a pistol. Same can be said for the entirety of opponents. Oh dear, Chronicle. You've been left behind. You've been left out to dry, and Les. Oh, already good for one now. The rifles come into play. See, the goal here is to keep things as clean as possible. A plant would be nice for Boaster, but not quite. A millisecond away. Chronicle, who was left behind. Oh, you know what? He's going to get away with one. Always seems to. And that is a Bulldog in hand. There's a part of me that wonders if he goes for damage or if he just chucks out the map.
Yeah, 15 seconds left. He could even run and carry it through, but he'll have the credits in the next. Doing a dent to Vitality here could be worth it, but the players he'll fight might not all have weapons, and one shot.
I think no matter what, I won't. Even if they get stomped here, I won't argue it's down to mental. I think this team's done way too much. I might argue that it's down.
Yeah, they know. They're ready for this blitz to come through on the A site. Salvos to slow as soon as the door opens. Whoa, that was almost a big mistake.
Down A.
Pressure on, and Safe knows it. Body's coming around the corner. He's down below in the well. Creeps around the backside as well, barely avoiding Alfier's gaze. And the 2 versus 4, thanks to that shot.
Left.
Maybe even having a plant in it. Him
where
planting,
Boaster is.
you're never going to expect Boaster to still be in rubble till they hear his steps. They just heard him running. Durka was well within range, and you can see.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah, must have missed it.
Alfier's aggressive position. This could even things up if he wins. The fight's not clean, but he does get the kill. That's all that matters. Puts things back into a 2v2, and they've expected Boaster to run away, to go back to try and join his teammate. The thing is, that tap, it forces Alpha's hand, but he still manages to survive. They've been happening too often. Well, that was one of them.
Time to jump.
Space being taken. Durka, the first point of contact, doesn't want to overface, and actually, Kayak has found 2.
Versus 4, they lose 1 player, and it's time to fall back. They see an onslaught of utility, and it may just be the same. Salvos and a pop flash inside the smoke. Kix has got the cover he needs to follow through on that kill without disruption. But when they step a little wider, Kayak and Alpha ready to clean up, all on Sivoth, and no idea that Crashies has wrapped around. What an adjustment!
I don't know if he has
the
time.
Newcomer down to the last few seconds, but not quite enough.
Time for us to get some.
Clearly Boaster feeling they should have won the last one. Already. Alfio just opt to run back in the other direction. Maybe an assist or 2 for Timmy the Turret, but no, it's just going to be the spike. Obviously denying all
that in B main. So often you're going to see just the Killjoy ultimate put into play there. Maybe. Kayak's good. He is dancing around those shots, waiting for them to run out of ammo, and as they retreat and reload, he pushes on. That'll get them a plant, and again, we talk about the crowd control, just running the clock down. He won't get a kill with the showstopper, but he's got them a plant.
The worry is that they now need to do something else, because I think the plan was maybe to try and delay with the lockdown. That got removed with the spam, trying to push onto Sivo, and they've done well. The bait into that wrap back around. The thing is, though, they didn't actually end up planting. They're now going back over to the A site with the spike, almost trying to sell this ruse. And with the Rolling Thunder on the other side, Safe and Durka combining, it looks like Fnatic might have overcooked this one a little bit. The spike now has to go back once again, and sure, on a site hold, in a 1 versus 3, it was basically going back to the last map. Crashies managed to thrive. This would have to be the best of them, already giving away his position. Sure, he'll take down Durka, but there was nothing more to be had.
Yeah, the fact that Durka's able to push up behind on C there for free, it essentially trades back. Chronicle was able to catch Sivoth off guard by making that late play towards A main.
He found onto Kayak as well, and they're going to make a play off this.
Yeah, they've walked straight through the door. Sivoth, they knew he was there, but a little bit too late to the pieces. Back just now, it disappears. He's now stranded.
30 seconds.
Starts to back off.
Especially with them around that door to see. He's got to be careful. The timing for Safe couldn't be worse. 20.
They'll have to fight their way back through with Durka on the off. It's not the easiest to make work on these kind of angles, and the lockdown put into play. Now we save. Push-up is huge from Durka, cutting off that rotation that they need from the B site. I think he's hearing the turret, knowing that he doesn't want to be baiting it. No, it's actually looking the wrong way. He even steps out into heavy traffic, knowing he wants to flank up on A. Ingles the Tay-hold, Armageddon, slowing them down on the A site, drawing them into battles. They step forward on B, they step forward on A, and no ground really taken until now. The two-piece pickup, and they've avoided Durka's ire by a matter of seconds with a Viper's pit down from Chronicle, by the way, at long last. That makes it difficult for Durka, has to give up the operator.
And they know he's there now as well. The alarm bot went offline perfectly, time for him to get their dimensional drift used to try and clear out positions, wanting to try and get rid of Crashies, but Crashy still wins that fight. And now for Durka, he's got to try and find not only the Viper, but some space to play with. Went back, has at least a little bit of extra HP, but that is ticking away. Needs Chronicle to fall, and he finds the headshot, but has to be wary of the player behind. That is Crashy's weight.
Here on the defense, and on the attack, maybe you got a chance. Group up and just look to snowball into them. But on the defense, that's a little bit more difficult to do, especially on a map with 3 sites. At least on split, you go A or you go B. But here, there's a tertiary option.
Yeah, and also just the way that Fnatic plays. As I said, they're constantly changing up late into the round. So even if you gambled and then you heard them go another way, you might have gambled correct at the beginning, and then you second guess yourself, you get picked apart, and well, they are currently being picked apart. Seaboth. Well, that's not gone to plan. Sheriff can be unkind. Unfortunately, that is now the spike crossing to the site. Eventually, will get the job done. At least finding one, you can see a slightly safer position being chosen, just to make sure there isn't really a chance, although another pick coming up. This position, though, should be nasty. I don't know how they're making this round competitive. That's a little whiffy, but the job gets done in the end. A 2 versus 2, make that just 1, and Boaster from the flank, I think, has done enough. Sibo to try and fight versus the remaining 2, and well, eventually, a mini...
Of all time, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need to work on the synergy, lads.
But honestly, that came down to Boaster. If he doesn't have success on the flank, then the round was thrown away by the...
Has been completely claimed by Kayak. Also, if the orb is still there, that could be a little bit too much.
They thought that he was in heaven, though. I think he had the right play there. Like, you're trapped, you're surrounded, you've got to spring on something. And especially with them thinking he's on the other angle, that's where the danger lies, that it would be a split through to B. It makes sense. Deep aggression from Kayak, knowing that Boaster had drawn forces in the other direction. And indeed, Showstopper online now, but that should be used as a safety net, especially now for VIT.
He's been peeking out most rounds, as I said. He's been controlling that. So that was Althea, well, being the alpha and just taking that clear fight. Kayak's made a bit of a slip up and gone down to the spot towards this A site.
Oh, slowed completely, but he's got plenty of time still on that Showstopper. Up close, and it's a big hit. Less down, nade, chasing, kicks, and he's in trouble with the C's. Just as Fnatic tap the spike on B, and now avoid this walk-up. This could have been disastrous if we saw Durka able to capitalize. Instead, they make it to the C site, minus Alphair. Also the latest lurk of all time.
It seemed like they had an idea over on the Vitality side that they might opt to switch back, and yeah, you mentioned it. This is a late rotation coming through, maybe a little bit too late. Boaster needs to hold the line for Chronotool to get back in time. As he watches, now knowing his teammates up close, but needing to try and deny if there was someone spamming it. Coming through on the other side, Chronicle's actually managed to find one more, but Kix is still waiting patiently. Chronicle trying to face off versus 2, needs a little bit more. Shots connected, but Kix is just sticking the defuse, even let's go! It takes a lot for Vitality to finally get back in the minds of Fnatic.
Drone is down.
Sending through the drone. That's going to be the Rolling Thunder, a very aggressive take, but Chronicle still manages to land a couple of shots from afar. I don't mind going that way.
I don't know. Oh, look at the position of Kix. Oh, the flash is too deep.
He didn't know.
Chronicle's on for the 3rd, and this is a beautiful read from Fnatic. Not that play, but the start of the round. They knew Vitality had pushed up when the alarm bot was broken as an addition. the reaction, I don't know if we'll hear it on the comms, but Alpha clearly called for it. They wrapped back, they were ready for that push-up. The response from
the map, you got completely baited by Fnatic, like playing early, like denying that aggression and then just sprinting over towards that side of the map. He'll get himself one
from the front.
Here.
4 rounds in it. This pistol could close the gap, or it could make this a real uphill battle. Durka, not long.
for that man and his pistol.
Well, you might be calling for the orb to go up, but that's not possible with Chronicle down in the dirt. Alphier gonna follow suit, as is Boaster. A convincing set of opening duels for Vitality. And it looks like that scoreline is about to get a whole lot closer. Considering half of their rounds come off the back of winning the pistol in the first half, it is certainly a breath of fresh air to see them keep themselves in it after such a close map number one. We know they've got it in the tank. 5 to 8. You probably shouldn't be here. I think Vitality so far, they've had their reads at times, but Fnatic coming ahead in a lot of those battles. This one should not be one of them. Classics across the board, numbers towards C and B. Vitality have left the door open for a rotate back. I thought they were going to go for that. Instead, it's going to be Les crossing over, who runs into two. Okay, runs through two of them, never mind.
Yeah, now it's, and then 3 rifles. If they keep all 5 players up, or even if they keep 3 up, they're going to be coming in with an incredibly strong looking bonus.
So far, it's not looking like there'll be any dents delivered. Although they're going pushing into the buggy. Well, that's going to quickly put to bed the flawless. In-zone flawless as it would have been. But from here on out, what can you do?
Give them a shout out anyway.
You know,
Do you feel like they deserved it?
I do. I think they've well and truly earned it with their support.
Well, they're too loud. Maybe Boaster will hear you.
Over that white noise, I would be impressed if he can hear anything.
Look at the aggression though. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Waiting for some support.
30 seconds left.
Durka's operator will be that first point of contact, looking for the head, but doesn't get anything, and Alfia immediately swings. Les has taken space on B and does manage to win the fight, but they need to get that spike first. Immediately teleporting away, but teleporting straight into the hands of Boaster with the Odin. The spike down, but it was irrelevant.
Boaster has to send it to the backside. Salvos are chasing him down. Keeping him honest, only one corner he can really fight from, and Crashies ends up going down, but Chronicle from the side, picking up a few. Stinger unsafe, alongside his salvos, have brought this back to even territory. Fnatic still have Chronicle though. He's tearing through the back lines as they push into the site. It's only the first players through that end up breathing late, safe and kicks. And they're up against it with the operator of Kayak and the utility clearing down below. Safe needs that pick up top.
That's the thing, his position revealed. This fight might be everything and has to turn tail. And unfortunately for him, that's the moment Kayak strikes. Alfia combining, that's another on the board. And after winning the bonus, or winning, sorry, against the bonus, this is Padawan. The question of who that master may be.
Lots of damage, and Chronicle the one to pick up the kill. The spams here from Fnatic, such an annoyance for the early rubble control. It's denied. Vitality move to the B site. Zivov already in, and he's picked off one with kicks following through. That's the site claimed. It's upgrades found in a plant. Not yet being sought after. They're going into Kayak. This could be a big problem. Where do you go now? The showstopper's on your tail. And that's the spike down in spawn. Last man standing. He's gonna go pushing right into the waiting arms of the off. He survives, but now he's sent forward by the nade. A sec from Durka. Lots of info found.
They found Chronicle.
They didn't, I don't think they saw Chronicle, no. No, they didn't.
They definitely didn't. Zivov has teleported into the site. He was frustrated about not receiving info. Now he's not giving it out. He was too busy looking to try and hunt down.
Getting away with that one. Chronicle feeling his impact now. 18 and 12, and the snakebite assisting. The other kills. What is that? Kayak!
They targeted Alfia. You know that this guy is going to be lurking in that spot, and now he's moved up. Buddy, you've got someone literally touching your back right now, being caught out by the audacity of this Fnatic squad. The TP's not going to work. The Viper's pit integrity is still there, and you can even see the reposition on B. Crashies has
30
taken
seconds
back
left.
control, expecting them to come through, expecting them to clear his angle. He's perfect. What is that from Chronicle? Just to spam through his own pit. Seavoff, good luck, my friend. It's another in-zone flawless. Fnatic. Seavoff is going to be up to the standard. Now, aim-wise, no
100%.
question. There is not a question. But he's normally not so aggressive this round already. He's looking for that fight. It's actually Alpha here on the other side. And well, Durka, Seavoff, they will combine immediately.
Individually, this guy is just off the charts, second only to Zeus in week 1, and a chance to build up those stats again here now in the role where it makes a bit more sense, where that expectation can be put onto him. Kayak, a double.
Spike down A.
Nicely done, but anything further will be impossible with Seavoff quickly shutting him down. Crashies, the last man standing, 1v3.
Spike planted.
And already he's going to be caught, suppressed, and taken out by kicks.
Is the fact that you have seen some excellent play from Chronicle in the last. Like, he is someone that, when he's online, as I said, he's almost impossible to stop. So the fact that you're going to have this aggressive defensive side, you're going to have that combination of Kayak and Alfia looking for fights across the map, you need an anchor. You need someone who's going to hold ground. That was just to see if he could do it again. I don't even know if that actually had any value. Yeah, I think it was just like, let me check I got my lineup correct.
Fair play. Sometimes it has to be done. Down to the spike. The rest of the Fnatic members go, and this is the early round formalities out of the way. You can go on over and help out that A site. Kayak's now here, 3 players. Boaster even starts to get an inkling that this could be the A hit, and so he's now ready to pop the paranoia. It's perfect, but Vitality still come ahead. They cannot expect these numbers to still be here. Now they will. Alfier was the one to find a kill with Boaster going down. 12 seconds left. The plant needs to be found. The spike on backside and undeniable. They ran into all. Avoid any of this early aggression from Fnatic from going down in those fights, and it looks like they have picked the easier of the sites to push towards.
Okay.
That's the rifle for Fnatic though, and Chronicle picks up the kill.
Sublimely placed. Kick still has one remaining. Is wary that they're already coming in from behind. In fact, though, it's going to be that short play, but Seavoff again. You talk about this guy already being, I think it was 4-0 going into this round, but he's fighting aggressively. He's facing off against opponents. Oh, okay. Kayak eventually gets the job done, but Seavoff is just flying. Another added to the tally, another round. Don't know if he's realized how far forward into the site he has managed to get. Seavoff fighting up against Chronicle, and while he has not been missing so far, Kayak still at the back of the site though, has been able to get one and escapes once again. The second.
One outside garage. We'll look to crunch on him later. And the push with the smoke up, Fnatic, they stand a decent chance. I love that from Alpha. The wall is going to block them all from spams completely. It's almost fully diffused, but Alpha's been taken off the spike. A second player, Crashies, steps in and he steps out just as quick. Seavoff with a 3-piece in this round. Vitality are happy. The pressure on Kayak to fill the boots of Durka, while Durka wants to take his boots back. But really, for someone like Seavoff coming into this map up against Alphayer on the ISO, one of the best ISOs in the world, you gotta think that even if you can exist in his shadow, that's a success. But right now, he is shining a new light on Fnatic. Fnatic with a decent step up from Kayak. 2-piece already, Les and Durka down and out, but the man who's yet to taste death, Seavoff, still alive, and weaker weapons, still what they're working with. Nothing recovered by that defensive side.
Both Boaster and Kayak being able to get something, but not able to fall back into things. The shield helping out massively. Hunter's Fury utilized and will pick off Seavoff. It's an investment, but
with that smoke put down by Boaster, Cerebral, well, I thought because he could sneak his way through, but the reveal is needed, broken, and some information to work with here. Trade starts out well, Crashies on the recovered rifle, but now he's the last one standing safe, looking to run away, has Hunter's Fury, if he can get to safe distance to activate. Instead, he's looking for the kill, but Crashies made the read. He suspected that's where safe would take it, and with enough time to bring this across the line, Fnatic. Reveal got stuck on the decoy, and because it hasn't got line of sight, you're not getting revealed by it. So it's able to push up on the back of it. It's be confusing to look at from the other side, but I guess Chronicle wasn't that.
pure contract as well. Potential from Alfia to make this fight more awkward. Solid work though from Safe. The lineup might have been missed once, but the Hunter's Fury will put them back at level peg. And Alfia, in the meantime, though, has managed to re-aggress and find less. This puts this into just the players looking to make their way into the B site. There goes that kill contract, looking for the fight, looking to try and take the battle, and he will win it at that. A clean.
I got the spike.
The last map was far more dominant for Fnatic. It's been a slower start. That's much better, though. Safe already dealt with. Now pushing back into this stacked up A side. It was where they had mass success in their bonus round. Even walking into a stack of players, their execution was sublime. See if they can get anything done here.
Close corner. It's going to be cleared by the decoy at least. And Seavoff the one to win that battle up against Alfier. Ult activated in the kill contract. He's been good in these, but Boaster, in a heater of a series, doesn't stand a chance against Seavoff.
We had safe on it, which seems ludicrous to say when you look back to, again, the #1 and #2 duelists of the year. Coming out of last year, but it seems like, again, the youngsters come up from that tier 2 scene and prove that there is such a wealth of talent within EMEA. Right,
they've been impactful, and yeah, they're going to clear the standard side. Will they clear the left, though? For now, the answer is no. Oh, the timing! He went to his cam just as Chronicle swung out, and now the ult indeed gives all the info to Fnatic.
Dimensional drift has been picked up by Durka, though. If they are going to try and defuse, he can ping exactly where they are already. The spam's coming through, already knowing that it's halfway, but just shoot me, my friend. That's all that's really needed. Well played by Durka, and stood in the spot where the shock dart has been going every round. That's rough for both.
Great play.
He's yeah, immediately gone. Like, I do still have a couple of guns. Boaster wasn't the biggest threat in this round. They are patient to mod the jump up from Alfia. It's not been the best map for him so far. I think of the ISOs, there hasn't really been a question which one has taken over. Chronicle's rifle is still well positioned, but is slowly moving away. Will have heard utility being popped. He's going to hope that he can try something a little bit spicy, a little bit tricky, knowing that there's a player on the other side. I think that only ended up breaking the shield. That's unfortunate.
Spike
for
planted.
Crash, he's spoke about his individual level looking stellar. I don't know if it's up to this standard.
Pops the Hunter's Fury and takes down 4, you know, who knows? But I think if he did pop the Hunter's Fury, we'd have to pause the game while Fnatic pull a sub onto the stage. A questionable decision. I can't believe Dirk has just done that. To see Dirk doing that up against you, you know he's having fun. And you want to quickly put that to bed. 2 rounds left in the half. Vitality, oh, they lose the opening pick. Seavoff down. Who steps up to fill the gap? Boaster onto Durka. Kicks. He's had some good maps so far. Boaster's barely making it out, and they won't be able to hunt it down. Alpha pops the double tap, sends in a vulnerable 2. A real opportunity, and with the Hunter's Fury landing onto Kicks, this round seems to be cemented in favor of Fnatic. Some real heroic gameplay needs to be found, and Safe, well, he's certainly going to give it his best shot. 2v3.
It's Hunter's Fury as well. Using it in this spot's always going to be difficult.
I'll handle this.
Less revealed dimensional drift thrown in. They're going to have seen the aggression. Boaster can just wait on the other side, and now Less. He's got to pull off a miracle. Nice shot for the first. Even trying to wait for that dimensional drift to end, but it was well timed by Fnatic. It took a moment for them to get back onto that board, but they will see themselves up to 3 at least.
Yeah, again, the foundation's being built 1 brick at a time.
Not been going to plan, but maybe if they can catch out Less, it will be a slight improvement.
Oh, they see exactly where that player is. Happy to take the assist. Crashies being spammed up, and the shock dart finds him. Vitality. Oh, they still have a problem to deal with. Ultimate put through by Alfier, and he's managed to pull Kicks into a battle for his life. The shots don't land, though. And it's Kicks to return with Safe on the triple.
In these early rounds, only the very first went the way of Fnatic, but they need to try and match up with what will be the last one. That's not a bad start. Alfier, a quiet first half, but he's already going to open up in the pistol.
On the attack as well. if anywhere you want Alpha here to be confident, I think this half matters the most. Aggression is necessary. You will be the point of the spear. Double tap activated. In goes Kayak first, though. He's got the full HP to work with, and not anymore. A cleanup of the double duelists moving through the double doors. And Vitality even find Crashies with Seavoff.
An isolated fight, but it really comes down to Chronicle here.
left.
Did he get seen?
He's gone all the way around. No, he's not being seen.
but
Now
Les
he
is
has.
watching.
Last
Seavoff
player standing.
picked off, and Les, sure, finishes him off eventually. That's going to put Boaster in a bit of an awkward spot. They're not going together, despite kicks being very low.
Oh, no.
Durka swinging alone goes down too! Boaster!
Doesn't have to be the greatest round you've ever seen. They lose a pistol or two, and that's absolutely fine. You can see the defense. They're attempting to swing back in. I like the
30
usage of
seconds
the
left.
vulnerability. Well, Durka, with any other gun, I'd say he's got an easy pickoff. Instead, he's been seen. This now becomes much, much tougher.
That should be impossible, especially with the classics. Durka can't do anything long range.
Standing.
Down to just one.
10 seconds
Kicks
left.
happy enough to
Spike
find a
planted.
single kill. Boaster's low. Some opportunities, perhaps. Oh, desperately close to connecting, but it won't land. Durka's not happy with the control. Can't just fight in from a few angles. He wants to open this up a little bit more, but he's fighting into heavy Fnatic territory. Seavoff, the return of perhaps the king, certainly on this server, but he's being put down quickly. Returned by Les, keeps it doable. Boaster and Chronicle put this to bed, though. What you would want once he doesn't take his cam out before the fight. He's ready once these cages drop. Vandal could catch them off guard, but it doesn't even get a shot fired before Kayak steps up to the plate. A nasty little double, and Durka won't get anything from behind, bar the one. It's certainly not enough to slow.
They've had the realization, similarly to the last half, that this A side has been incredibly difficult for both sides. And with a more direct take, well, Durka's way too slow to realize what's going on. Chronicle removes safe, and this is basically round over. Oh, they're looking for the guns now. Rightly so. You are looking at a 5-0 lead, and well, hello. That's where one of the guns are. But they also have so many credits in the bank. The rest of the team are going to look to try and trade this one out. Not quite.
Fleeting youth.
Oh, nice.
9-8. Let's get existential with it. Durka's down on mid, picks up Boaster.
Spike down mid.
The opening pick, exactly. It's a ruse for Chronicle to embed deep into short and play that late flank. He'll get a great opportunity by the looks of things with the cross coming in. And indeed, he catches Durka. Chronicle with a valuable pick for Fnatic, putting them back into a reasonable position, but it's all falling apart on the site. Kicks, interrupts the fallback, and then Seavoff has the door wide open, steps through the frame, and puts his fist down. Fnatic, they were climbing back into this, but the gap has just gotten a little bigger. Vitality on double digits.
They really are mimicking each other. It's just crazy that the way that this game has gone is both teams.
Flowing on the way, and they are certainly committing to it. Sometimes you can just gate crash out of Garage. We've seen it attempted before, and this time the exact same thing happens.
One man, that man will be less.
Luckily for Seavoff, he had the trigger discipline to not just fire the ult through into empty space. Hunter's Fury, it's not even Hunter's Fury, it's Boaster with the trade, but because the ult's online, Seavoff gets another shot, double tap, not available, but Seavoff finds the pick, and now comes back in, ready to brawl. Fnatic have their work cut out for them at 2 versus 3. Happy to run that clock down a little lower, but the plant very much needed by this squad now. 10 seconds. They know that someone has to plant, and when they do, they're removed from the fight, but they'll do it on eliminations instead.
Fallen, hook, line, and sinker for this one. Only one standing, it will be less. Might be able to try and hit the timing, at least on one of the players, but Chronicle baits him in with the removal of the pin. And now they have that post plant. A 5 versus 4. Dimensional Drift immediately used for Durka to try and clear some of these angles. Knowing there's a player on site, Alfia is already going to drop another teammate though, and this is looking incredibly problematic.
Big plays needed on the site, and it's Alpha still lurking around to find the value. Seavoff with an unbelievable performance on ISO, and he'll get the defuse to halfway. They've even got the side angle covered. The swing out though instantly deals with him.
We have seen the depth that this roster can bring, and on the other side of things, Dirk has been trying to pad the gap, but that's now a whole lot of a ground to that ground. I think they will have had the spot onto safe. So they're just pausing again. This spot could be dangerous. Nice shot from Les.
Here.
From the A side, but the spike's still very far away. That's
30
time
seconds
running off
left.
the clock, and Chronicle wants to make up for it with space. It's dangerous against a weaker buy to play like this, and that's a big mistake. Even the Tracer's easy to follow back on, but Seavoff steps in to take the pick. An immediate response, though. Boaster and Kayak cleaning this up before it gets too dangerous. Les lurking inside the smokes, and he steps out with Kayak waiting. Deep into the round, only now starting to leave that A site, but it's this push that's made up for the gap that was created. But they're watching it. Kayak, eyes in the back of his head, and Boaster onto Seavoff, the big player.
Penalty squad to believe that this is going to be an A commitment. Instead, now those two players who've solved the ruse look to run back, and they're still waiting for Les. They're waiting for a flank.
They don't get to sit safely for long. Alphayer is here. He's looking to make it more costly, and he's hit kicks. The 1-2 punch perhaps to put the economy in the dirt, and he's landed it. And
Best attack side calling we've ever seen. Like, think
100%.
back to Lotus, the consistent switch-ups, redirects, and bamboozles, and well,
Wow.
Dirk had thought, again, that's a
in
second.
a pretty vulnerable
He's got
position,
him.
but Fnatic,
This is everything. Seavoff needs to try and win this battle. It's him versus Chronicle, and it's Bessie. And he knows it as well. That might be the beginning of the end. Chronicle was able to hold on to mid-control, but the team weren't just sitting waiting. They weren't watching while they took that 1v1 fight like we were. Instead, there's now going to be another. It could be another nail in the coffin. The problem is they lose one more. It's left all up to Les. The import, the man brought over from Brazil. A Champions winner who has suffered defeat at Fnatic before and will suffer it again.